pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Lori.
Aswell.
Yes.
Bristol.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Lincoln.
Here.
Haskell.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh.
excused,
Majeski.
excused. All right. Everybody had time to look over the agenda,
Yes, I did.
so can I?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Could we add something to the agenda? Just something small, under unfinished business, discussion of the COVID plan?
With addition, Stephanie, your emotion?
I make a motion.
All right.
with Additions.
Seconds. I second that with
All
you.
right. Roll call,
Addition.
Lori.
Brown.
Yes.
Bristol.
Yes.
Asplund.
Yes.
Lincoln.
Yes,
Haskell.
yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Public comment, we have any out there?
There's two kinds of public comment on here. There's number 4, general
Sorry,
public
that's
comment.
my fault.
Okay,
Just take the second
all
one.
right, okay.
All right,
I'm already trying to get it done yesterday.
I thought maybe it's a chance for me to speak.
so. Yes, now we'll talk jail roof.
I gave an updated
Picture.
on that.
Cause yeah, Dwayne, I seen
Dwayne
he
sent today.
emailed that over.
Mhm.
Okay. So decisions, if I'm right, decisions need to be made on this before there's a big increase in the cost of the material. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Dwayne?
Yes.
Okay. And for this year, what are we looking at? A is already done. And are we looking at all three, 1 and 2?
Long term, if we know we're gonna do all three, which I think we're kind of stuck with doing, it's better to do it all now, unfortunately. I know it's a lump sum, but if we wait, she said the prices are going up, remember?
Right,
See us pay more when we have to do it anyway.
so
Wow.
we're looking at what? 96.
32,500.
Okay. Next question I have is, we've been talking, that is not one of the infrastructure things we can use the COVID money for.
As of right now, no.
Okay,
My concern is if we wait to do piecemeal it, A, cost is gonna go up, and B, by the time you get one thing done, you're looking at another thing.
Yeah,
I suggest just do it all up front if we can find the funds to do so.
mhm.
So we're looking at what, 130,000?
132.5.
2.5.
There's no reason to delay issues that are already occurring.
Yeah. Leaky roofs only get worse.
So, is that available, Tracy? How's the budget?
No, it's not available. You might have 50,000 in contingency. And Jenny passed out a sheet with the ending fund balance stuff on it.
That sheet that you're looking at is only ending 2020. The
Mhm.
2021 needs some serious adjustments to it. There's a lot of numbers in there that need updating, but we'll work on that and hopefully have that for the next meeting if we can make it work.
Well, I don't see where we can spend money we don't have. That's my issue.
well,
If you do, it's gonna be, the rest of it will come from the ending fund balance.
Which is,
and
anything less than $50,000.
Okay.
Oh, 70,
The fund balance shows we're gonna what? And,
no, that was last year.
Yeah.
That was the
okay,
end of
Yeah.
2020.
Right, where's 20 what do we bottom line now?
Mhm.
Then that's what Jenny was explaining.
Yes.
There, we have a lot of adjustments to do to the fund balance to determine, or to the budget right now to determine that.
How soon
Did-
would that be done?
We'll try to work on them within the next week.
did we start switching any of, we were gonna add 800 and some thousand to the fund balance, with that money's here. Have we got any of that in place yet or no? The COVID relief.
We have received the COVID money, but
It can't be.
the ARPA money, but we have not, I can tell you that it is roughly, I think, roughly $1 million between 2020 and 2020 and the first quarter of 2021.
That we could have documentation to put
Right,
that into the
but
general
the thing
fund.
is that's an estimate. We need somebody to actually, we need to actually go through that line item by line item to make sure, but there's those funds.
Okay.
The problem is, Jeff, is that they keep changing the ARPA rules. From
Yeah.
our last conversation that they've had, they have changed some of the rules. So we have to go through and redo a lot of what we have
We did.
done.
Jeff, your thoughts?
Well, a couple thoughts. We had $47,000 from our Blue Cross Blue Shield
Mhm.
that we could take that money, bill it to the relief fund
Yeah.
and use that for the roof unless that is in the 1 million right now.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking if we could at least get phase one and two done, or B and C, then just wait for the final one and hopefully who knows what's the way pricing's going right now. Is it still gonna be high for 2023 that it's on there? Is the roof failing? I know it says here 2022 and then 2023 for C and D. Is it something failing that needs to be done quicker than 2023?
John?
Ryan?
Yes, I'm patching, I've run out of patches and I've been going up and doing the best.
For D, that area?
If we had to, D has the least amount of patches, yes.
Okay,
Where are the feds housed in this map?
The leaky part.
I can't hear you.
Where are the feds housed in this? 'Cause
Where's the
I-
Fed's house in the map?
That would be B and D.
Lori Phelps is wanting to know if they can borrow 50 from the building department.
If the jail could borrow. Okay.
No, you can't borrow from that. You can't take from a special revenue fund.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
You're welcome.
No?
I say it has to be, I mean, I don't have a voting bone in this, but if it needs to be done, I would just get it done and over with. We'll have to figure it out. Once we get the revenue replacement, we're gonna have to take from the budget. It might make what the ARPA money is a net zero effect, but if you gotta get it done, it sounds like that's where you're leaning.
well, I feel that a good portion of it needs to be done anyways.
Yeah.
And we all know
But
that's where our revenue.
I just wish that whole American Relief money would pan out and we could use that for this. That would be huge, I feel.
Mhm.
But that's not still set in stone, right?
Well, you would just be using the backside of it, whatever revenue replacement we get out of that, you would just have to use that. But we're also gonna have to use some of that to fund some other things as well.
But you feel in general that we should just go ahead and get it done and we can make it work?
I think so.
That's coming from, that's advice from our treasurer, so I'm depending on that.
Was that,
I
is that a threat?
feel that at the Wednesday meeting, we should have that as a motion on there to approve or deny it. And then between now and Wednesday, see if we feel we could take the Blue Cross Blue Shield money, that 47,000 out of the COVID relief to not make that so bad.
Oh, all right.
And then look for any other areas we could put towards that, and the rest we'll take out of the general fund, but have that spelled out so we know where it's coming from.
Okay.
John, does that sound all right by you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What I don't understand is, if they keep, and I know you're gonna talk about it, but they keep changing the rules on this money.
Yeah,
It's like dangling a night crawler in front of a
Yep.
fish.
that's
okay?
right. Yeah.
Either make a damn decision with it, not you, but the government, so we know where to go with it.
Oh, yeah.
We know that we can make up lost jail revenue from it, correct?
Yeah.
At this point.
Yep.
Which is probably quite a bit of money, because we lost quite a bit of money last year
Mhm.
and this year.
They just informed us that no federal money can be covered by that.
So federal inmates wouldn't be?
No, federal,
Monies.
the federal revenues, like the,
Any federal grants that we get. we
Okay.
cannot- And anything we lost about.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
So,
Have we received the money yet?
yes,
Yes.
it's in the bank
3
account.
million,
Right.
first 3 million.
Do you need a motion to,
No, I just say we put that
Off of the
on,
agenda.
and we will have specific areas, but I think as a consensus, we're pretty much all in agreement that
Yeah,
it needs to be done.
okay.
Let's figure out where, and then if we may have to leave one off or something, if we feel best, we'll do that next year or something.
Okay.
Or,
Try hard
or
to,
hopefully we'll find out that it all could come from that 3 million, and
okay,
yeah,
life would be really good then, but.
I
okay,
agree.
all right.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay,
Okay. IT discussion, what do we got on that?
Anything in particular that you guys were looking to hear from it for starters?
Well, I do know that for one thing, that Tracy, Jenny, they are big proponents to using this relief money to update our servers and get whatever equipment, because we can use it for that. Now would be a good time to get everybody up to where we need to be, ahead of the game.
I have, Jesse did provide me a list of those funds or those items, the servers.
And those can be purchased with the COVID or the American Relief
As
money.
long as we can it can roll back to somewhat of cybersecurity somewhere.
That,
Oh, yeah.
and it has to do with what
It
we
does also
expect.
say on there the stuff to update that. So the software and the hardware for that would be included.
Yep. Right.
Thanks.
So, and I have that information from him already,
I
so.
think we should, what kind of total we looking at? Can you tell us that?
I think we're just waiting for the
Roughly
RFP. to go out.
120,000.
Is that correct, Jesse?
Yeah, we're still putting the finishing touches on the RFP, but the original quote that we got from our first consultant was just under 154,000 for the server replacements. So I would imagine when the bids come in for the RFP, it will be somewhere around that cost.
And there's also some other softwares in there too.
My recommendation on that would be to bring a dollar amount to
Yeah.
the full board meeting on next Wednesday. And we'll make a motion on it. And I feel that'd be money spent wisely with the COVID money coming in. Does anybody have a difference of opinion there, or?
I'd like to add something. I understand we still have a contract. The county still has a contract with Wintel. Is that correct?
I don't have a clue.
I'm told by good authority we do. And that maybe some of that money could be used for the county. Okay, we could finish that contract, in other words, that we have with Wintel. I'd like to maybe have you talk to Jerry. He can pull it up for you. And
Enlighten me. What's Wintel? I don't want to sound stupid, but I guess I am. so.
Broadband stuff.
Yeah.
I don't,
yeah,
The company that provides that.
which
You
would
won't
fall
be a-
under this money, the COVID money.
but we won't be able to finish it for the entire county, if that's what you're
No,
talking.
but For us.
No, I think this part's already done, isn't it?
No.
I don't know.
No, it's not. We ran out of money, and so that's why we still are holding that contract, and it needs to be finished. So I
That
think.
doesn't sound familiar. Does that sound familiar?
It's true. Again, Jerry's good authority on this.
Well, let's get some information on it.
Yeah.
It's really not on our agenda, but let's get some information on it
So
and
maybe have.
see what's going on.
The next meeting.
There you go.
Okay.
What's happening with our temp employee?
So his last day is Friday. He has accepted another permanent position at another employer. So he will no longer be working with us after Friday. We would like to hire another Kelly Service employee on. However, I would recommend, if we want to keep the IT department at 3 people, that we go for a longer period of time. Because if we're trying to get people for a couple weeks at a time, they're always going to be hunting for the next job. And that's what happened with Paul.
Seeing as how we have a meeting next Wednesday.
Mhm.
If that passes, if we put the motion through to purchase all that equipment, I feel that an extra person would be needed to get all that working.
Why is he calling?
You'll see
Bill
what-
Majewski.
So
The 154,000 that was quoted initially
Oh.
includes professional services from the vendor to come out and get all that equipment set up. They're the experts in running that equipment, and they're gonna get it done a lot faster than.
that comes right within,
So that's bundled up with it. So if we want a third IT person, that's gonna be because we want to keep our ticket response time lower, and also looking towards the future if we want to be insourcing with other municipal entities.
okay. Well, Rick's here. We can talk to him. What are your IT protocols down at Hayes Township? What do you guys do?
We contract with IT Right.
Okay. How long is your contract for? And if we tried to have a IT department for the government entities in this area, would you be interested in jumping in with that?
Our response time is much quicker than what we had when we were with the county.
Okay,
So,
Would we slow you down?
myself, the answer would be
Okay.
okay. I think before we commit to another IT person like that, I feel we reach out to all the organizations and see if we can get anybody on that. On that.
It sounds like Clare Police Department is interested, and the transit in town here would be interested. However, I believe the transit in town here may have already signed on with somebody, so we would have to wait and see when their contract is up, if they'd be wanting to jump ship or not.
Do you have time to maybe reach out to these people, get their response?
Yeah, I can.
And, you know, look at man hours, what we would need for help and that type of thing?
And yeah, I can do that. And as far as the third IT person goes, the insourcing, I feel, is really just going to take the edge off of the cost. I feel that if you want a third IT person here to keep ticket response time snappy, then we would pretty much need to be okay with footing the cost of that person and just use the insourcing to take the edge off of the cost.
How much has the response time improved since we had third one?
I don't really have data on that yet. Paul hasn't been with us long enough to really keep track of that, but it's been helpful having Paul here. I can say that. The couple weeks that he was here, he's still getting used to the environment. So anytime that you try to get a new employee up and running, it's going to take a little while, but it's very helpful having a third person when we're running around. Just like I'm running this meeting now, Josh was running the apportionment meeting, and Paul was able to take care of IT business while we were off doing other things.
Well, and maybe as a test run to see if it works for us also, we can probably take that IT person out of the American Relief money and justify that because we got so much more stuff, Zoom and everything else. So, and we could try that and see if that's our answer, at least for what, Jenny, 2024 is when that's got to be used up by?
2026 has to be used up by, but it has to be spent through 2024.
Okay.
So we have to have it all spelled out by then.
Okay, so you're, no, go ahead.
My personal recommendation would be if you can afford it, to approve them for a 1-year contract. And at the end of the 1-year contract, maybe about April, May, start talking about it to see if you can afford it for the next fiscal year after that. That would do two things. That would give them a long enough time to actually get up and running and know our environment here. And if you wanted to turn around and direct hire them, after a year, the conversion cost generally drops off for a Kelly Services employee. Otherwise, if you want to direct hire them, they will charge you for the remainder of 8% of their annual salary so they can get their recruiting fees. So the whole 1-year term kind of seems to make a lot of sense if you can afford it. If you can't afford it and we don't want to fund a third IT person, that's not really going to hurt us other than our ticket response time is going to be what you would expect of 2 people running a department of 200 plus users.
Okay.
And I just say something too, and I don't know, we're talking about that relief money, but with, like we said, they increased on the things that we've had to do. That, I mean, if you could justify that for a year, that'd be perfect.
I think that would be our good test run if we could take the money out of that instead of trying to find it in anywhere else. If we could take the money out of there, do that year test run. So maybe when you, at Wednesday's meeting, you can have what it would cost for that person for a year. And I see here we got American Relief Plan Act committee maybe forming or something down here later. By then, maybe we'll have some answers on if we can use it on that or not also.
And I do have numbers right now. If we were to hire somebody in at Paul's hourly rate from Kelly Services, it would be approximately $49,920 for the year. If we wanted somebody a little bit more experienced who was looking for a long-term assignment, it might be a couple of dollars an hour more and plus or minus a few $1,000s.
Well,
That seems like a deal.
I don't know. I think that's definitely something that
We could do that.
I think when you have them other numbers, we may just approve that at the next meeting also.
What kind of data are we gonna keep this at the end of the year that would say that we could justify that there was a impact on IT, the time is faster?
Is the IT committee still meeting?
No, kind of piggybacking with the department head meeting. I haven't been at, I don't know.
But
Doesn't seem to be enough to talk about in an IT committee meeting on its own. So it would really be best served to be rolled into a line item on the department head meeting.
Yep, Jesse and I talked about that, and I would pop in to the department head meeting when Jesse's talking. Rick's invited as well.
that could be kept by Jesse and overseen by that committee, I guess. That's what I would recommend.
And there were 2 other pieces of software that we were looking at if we had funding for them. These would be very much so what we would consider optional pieces of software, but they would be helpful. The first one is Intercept X. It's an anti-ransomware piece of software. For a 3-year contract, it is $18,600. It is quite pricey, but it basically stops ransomware in its tracks. That can very easily be considered a cybersecurity line item. The next piece of software is BombGuard. We currently don't have a good remote support tool. That would be $7,100 for startup in the first year, and I think just under $2,000 a year after that for maintenance costs. That is a secure CGIS certified way for us to remote into people's computers.
I can't believe we didn't have that before. I really feel that should be rolled into not the option package, but part of the.
We should have had it a long time ago, and it's entirely possible that that could have kept Josh and I from getting COVID.
You guys are, but if you guys got to deal with dummies like me that don't know how to run a computer, that's just priceless.
Right now, we have to.
Our tech support can right in my computer and it's done in 10 minutes, and that right there, I think would save a ton of time.
And we still have remote workforce right now with courts and other people. So it would be nice to be able to just remote in and get eyes on what they're working on.
All good stuff. I think we should have something on the agenda to vote on that Wednesday also.
Sounds good.
Gonna be a 3-day meeting on Wednesday.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
No, we'll go right through it.
No, I'm joking.
Keep you to 15 to 20 minutes on your
Pretty just
part of that.
before we got here.
I give you
Timer on me.
time, Sandra.
Ah. Okay.
We love you, Sandy.
All right, thanks. Okay. All right.
Okay, courthouse maintenance. This is something we've tossed around. Brian is doing the sheriff's department and I don't know if he has time to split. I don't think he does. He seems like a pretty busy man. Is it time that we tried to hire somebody part-time? We tried to kill a couple birds with one stone and that really didn't work for us there either, as far as trying to nullify the contract with the HVAC because there's just too much there for a part-time person to take care of, what I was told. So, and I believe that also. But with that being said, we really have no maintenance person around here now that Dave Leposki's left. He used to be part-time maintenance for the.
Right, yeah.
We haven't had anybody since then, so
Is that all we had was part-time maintenance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we have Carrie and Carrie does some of the stuff. And she's good at what she can do, but we need somebody in here that can oversee that HVAC system because I can't and I do not have time
Mhm,
to try and figure it out.
mhm. Yep.
It's
Pulled it
not
up
my
on-
expertise.
She pulled it up on the computer for me to show me once and it was frightening. So we just, yeah.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we've always needed a maintenance person. Back when I was commissioner before, there were things that we had to hire out that I felt like my boys could have done it. We needed a maintenance person.
what do you feel his job description would be then?
Well, like broken pipes, easy plumbing, probably working on the windows that were falling out.
Electric
Yes. Mhm.
Oversee HVAC.
with a
Yeah,
ground in that.
yes. There's people like that floating around. Yeah. Mhm.
Be a manager of a lumber company.
That's not the guy.
Okay. He knows where you can get the supplies they'll need. Okay.
Getting too heavy to get into tight places, so I wouldn't be the right guy.
Should we put out a bid order to see if we get any apps?
Well, I know we've got one now. But we probably could put,
Someone that has an expertise in the HVAC control net
So you-
system.
Yeah, that's handy.
it was a simple, easy decision. If that person could have also took the $22,000 contract per year for all of the air purifiers and everything we got, but that's too much. Because there's so much maintenance. And I went and talked to Brian about it exclusively and he says there's just a ton of work there.
Well,
And
they
And
had
it's my fault. I guess I'll take the heat, but since the weather got so hot, the air conditioning has been taxed here because we didn't re-sign the contract and now
Okay.
I'm scared it's all gonna break down and I see Michelle had no air in the
I have an update.
basement.
I have a little bit of an update for you. First of all, Michelle is, if she's listening, is not gonna be happy because the condenser that actually powers that area is broke down. I have somebody getting me a quote to get it fixed, so I am working on that for her. But they were here today. The company was here today and replaced air filters on some of the sheriff's departments, cleaned out some of those, some of the senior center. And Harvey, the guy that did it, said, if the sheriff's department's bad, animal controls is gonna be bad. So they went out there and checked that one. They had 2 people here working and they were here this morning and worked up until probably 3:30 this afternoon to work on all that.
How old are the units?
We have some new
They
ones, and
vary.
some older ones.
That's why if the American Relief money could have been spent on that, which I'm not sure that's out of the question yet. I mean, but that needs to be updated.
Most of them were done in 2015 when we got the construction bond, right? So I guess technically 2016.
Well, not all of them, but a lot of them were. And we did an inventory of every single unit, air conditioning unit, heating unit, the air exchangers. And in the inventory, it has the year that they were put on the buildings, the serial numbers, the brand, and all of that is in Lori Martin's office. So it should be in a box in Lori Martin's office.
So that basically is another strong suit to maybe have a part-time maintenance guy here, because part of his job would be to follow up on that. And if we harp on us, if there's one that's getting older and needs to be replaced or causing issues, I don't know.
In the meantime, if we can pipe some down from my office into Michelle's, I think she'd be good, and she can pipe some heat into ours. Because we're like in winter jackets up here.
I've got heat to spare. You're welcome to it. Just throw me some sand and margaritas and I'll be good.
There you go.
That downstairs is always hot. It was in the Conservation District office there like all the time.
Okay, so we're gonna put a job out for bid, or what are we gonna do?
Yes, I feel if we feel that's what we think we need to do. I agree with it. I'm on board with that.
Do you need to have somebody write out the qualifications, or you know exactly what we need and you put that in
Well,
there?
Between Lori Phelps and I, we could probably come up with something, because I'm sure that I might have something or,
Did you guys discuss the pay for this person? I didn't get it if you did.
no.
Not yet. What do we feel pay should be?
Well, you were tossing some figures around. So what do you think?
Well, part-time, so that would mean no benefits.
Would that mean we wouldn't have to get that contract, that $20,000 contract, or is that still in?
No, that's gonna be voted on
Yeah, okay,
down here.
okay, all right. So
The number that sticks in my head right now is $15 an hour.
You think you get somebody for that?
I don't know.
what, Rick?
You think you get somebody for that? I don't think so.
I think you can, and I think you're gonna find somebody, people that are, a person that might be retired or something that
Could we
might
put?
say, hey, I'll do that for.
Starting at?
Because you're looking for a HVAC tech, electrician.
If we're gonna put this up for bids, I say we put on there, wage is negotiable and see what the market bears. Yep.
Okay. Okay,
Then
that sounds good.
if we do find a candidate, then we bring it in front of the board and,
Yeah.
and we'll vote on that.
Do you need a motion,
Yeah, let's have a motion on that.
Cindy?
I'd like to make a motion to ask for bids on a part-time maintenance person, and that we mention that wages are negotiable.
Advertise,
Eric. Yep.
advertise for part-time maintenance. So we saying about 20 hours a week, you said?
Yep.
Have we reached out to the college yet? You know, they do have that HVAC program out there. I don't know. if they would
That's
have
a good idea.
But they might
I
have,
don't,
you know,
it's just not HVAC's the issue.
Mhm.
Maintenance.
Got everything else too. Electrical, plumbing,
Like the door out front.
the door out front,
Got it.
so.
need a really handy man.
I'm not maintenance.
And I think no matter what, it's gonna be an internship and we're gonna have to probably pay that anyways or more, so.
Okay,
All right,
And that could be one of them people. Maybe they wanna,
possible.
and they come up with,
yeah, maybe they feel they can work part-time through college and do a good job at it, so they should be able to apply.
If you're gonna do it, let's make it work.
You know some people down there?
Got a second on that motion?
Second.
All right,
that was a
roll
good,
call, Laurie.
Crystal,
yes,
Asplund,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Lincoln,
Yes.
Haskell.
Yes.
I didn't even see a fist.
Okay, now to the big one. American Relief Plan Act 2021 Committee.
I would suggest that the committee not be very big. That it be made up of Jenny and myself. I would suggest that Lori Phelps be included in that because she does a lot of grant writing, a lot of reading and what, you know, those types of things. And that we have a couple of commissioners. And we have passed the information on that we have thus far to the department heads, asking for lists from them on things that they would like to see as part of that. And we'll continue to gather that information as we go. And then as things change, we'll get that information up to them as well.
I would push them under sheriffs on that for the mere fact that we're almost half of your budget.
I agree with that. I got zero issue with that.
You're welcome.
And a couple commissioners.
I think the chair should definitely be on it.
Thank you so much.
I would like to be on it.
Oh, Steph, you'd be good, yeah.
Okay, Stephanie's volunteering.
Yeah.
All right. What's this gonna meet every night at 7 or something?
I don't think so.
Oh, all right.
It has to be hard.
You want me to sub it?
No.
Just remember, I'm on summer vacation. We can do more.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you could meet all day.
So how often is that gonna meet? I mean, just because we form a committee, we ought to probably try to do something too.
Right.
You know, I think what's kind of had this on a big stall, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that we're sitting on all this money. We don't even know what we can spend it on.
Yeah, they keep changing,
Yeah, so,
evolving.
They tell us to, you know, not jump into anything. They warn us ahead of time not to jump into thing. And they are, you know, when they first came out, it was very broad. But the federal, the feds told the state to work it out. And so they are. There is another webinar next Thursday with the state. Tracy and I are both going to be on. That's going to help dissect it even more. But for the most part, we do know we're going to get to do replacement revenues. However, they did cut the Fed part out of it. And we have to use a formula now. It's not going to be just what it is to replace. It could be better. It could be worse. We have to play with that. The infrastructure wise, they still have not budged anything on except for the cybersecurity. But there's other things that have came out. I attended the GFOA and the GFOA one, which was really enlightening. Had some different ideas. So it is coming. It's just we're not going to be able to jump on it and use it so fast. Right now, what we could probably do is the premium pay. They did come out with some more guidance on that for employees during the time of COVID. Most of the stuff we're going to do right now is going to be for 2020 replacement, and we could probably do up through December of last year as well.
Okay.
So there are some things we can do, but the rest of it, it doesn't need to be decided on right away.
Is Lori Phelps still on? No?
Yes, I am.
Oh, Lori, you agreed to be on the committee?
She asked me, can I please be on that committee?
Good,
Yes, I'd like to be on that committee.
great. We want
Yep.
that.
so when's the first meeting for this?
When would you like to meet?
I would say after next week, because we're getting more treasury guidance next Thursday.
Yeah.
So I would say in a couple weeks.
Okay,
Which would take us to what, Trace?
third week in June?
Yeah, the week,
Or fourth week in June?
21st.
yeah, the week of the 21st.
We have airport board meeting that Monday, just in case.
You're not invited anyway.
But she's on the airport board.
Can you make it the 23rd? That's a Wednesday.
I can do that.
June 23rd.
Time works best.
Morning's fine.
So 10.
Okay,
Jenny, are you good with that? Lori?
June 23rd at 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wayne?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
I just got a question. Since it's so vague, how they get audited? Not what's the repercussions if we do something wrong?
Well, here's the one.
We'd have to pay it back.
We have the state as our auditor. So, and we're working with her on everything that we do because we want to make sure we're doing it right.
We tell them we need new roof units because in the new roof, number one, to keep our new cybersecurity dry, and number two, to keep it cool so it doesn't overheat and ruin.
Exactly.
That one was actually, you might be able to do some of that because part of the discussion at the MGFOA and GFOA meetings that did talk about if we had to increase the air circulation.
Yeah,
For
definitely.
that. So that was not given in the original guidance, but you know, as they keep updating, that was in the last update that last webinar I was in.
And I would think if you're bringing in more air, which is what you need to do in the jail, because they recommend 100% now, if you're bringing in more air, it would change the footprint on the roof and you would have to redo the roof.
You're able to ask questions at these webinars, aren't you?
We are, for them to actually go out and find it, because most of the people that are giving it are just passing down. So I can imagine just from the accounting side that portions of that will probably be acceptable. I don't know if all of it will be acceptable. Expenses.
That's exactly what I thought. Are you done with that?
What is this rental agreement? Do I have to sign it?
No, it was attached to this, right? That's East Township.
You got to pay the money. That's it.
Reading it done.
So I think that's a step in the right direction there. And I'm glad that we need to be creative about this.
And I think going into that meeting, we need to have the wish lists from the departments.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Mhm.
It'll be their deadline with.
Yeah.
It's also for the community. So at some point, it seems like the committee would put something on to see if the community has any ideas as well. Maybe if not in this first round, but we will be getting the second round next year at the same time.
Very good point. We can't be greedy.
I mean, we have to take, obviously got to take care of the house first and get
Yeah.
everything going, but it's just, I want to make sure you guys have it in your mind that it's a complete 6 million and community is part of it.
Yeah, and I feel that we'll have a hard time spending all this money, even if we used it on the roof and everything else. So,
I agree.
so that is a good idea. So let's see what we think we're gonna have left and we'll brainstorm from there.
Feels good to be starting the committee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Okay, number 10.
Tax rate.
Rick, you wanna read number 10?
Sure. Motion to approve notice of certification of county allocated tax levy with the board chair clerk to sign the L-4029 and authorize the spread of tax rolls.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
I was asked to put this on the agenda because it's gonna be too late by next Wednesday to get it.
Sure.
So.
Roll call, Lori.
Yes.
Driscoll,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Casper,
Yes.
Pasco,
Yes.
motion carried.
Stephanie, will you do 11?
County HVAC contract. Motion to approve the 3-year HVAC maintenance contract for all county buildings with Conti LLC pending review from the county attorney and allow chair to sign.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
It has been reviewed by the attorney.
This is the $22,000 one?
Yep.
And I would just like to comment on that, or I kind of did earlier, that I thought we could in-house this and it would be a lot better deal,
Yeah.
but I was wrong. So I feel we need to put this on here now because it's the time of year that everything breaks, as we can already see it already started.
Yep. Okay, and I agree with that.
Roll call, Lori.
Brown,
Yes.
Crystal,
Yes,
Bacon,
Yes.
Asplund,
Yes.
Haskell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the next one, please disregard the number 8 in prosecutor. A slip of the finger, I guess.
Sandy, you read number 12?
yes, I'm just crossing out the 8. Okay, CESF grant contract. Motion to approve the coronavirus emergency supplemental funding grant contract between the Clare County Prosecutor's Office and the MSP project number CESF-2021-012.
Okay.
This
What's it
was,
all about?
this was the grant that you had told Michelle to go ahead and apply for the part-time attorney,
25,000?
and she got it.
Okay.
Great.
Did we have a second on that?
Second.
Lori, roll call.
Crystal,
Yes,
Asplund,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
Haskell.
Yes. Hey. I've got COVID for unfinished business.
Yeah, the COVID plan for the courthouse.
Okay.
So the governor has stated that if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. I am not monitoring people. I'm not asking people those questions. So we have continued to have people wear their masks throughout the hallways.
I think we need to change that.
So, to what? Are you gonna completely say we're not doing anything anymore? Are you, and that's what I'm asking. I mean, because it doesn't matter to me one way or the other, but we need to know what we're doing because I was leaving it the way it was simply because, and Jerry and I had a discussion about it because it sounds like they're gonna be opening everything back up in July.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Any business, even down through Ohio, that I've seen, even Cedar Point says if you've been vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And they don't check you, but even at Applebee's in Mount Pleasant last night, some of the waiters and waitresses weren't wearing, they said, well, we don't have to wear them anymore because of whatever reason. But I think if you put something on the door that says, if you've been vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask.
Doesn't county courthouse has done that.
Here's a recommendation that I have, and tell me if you think it's foolish, but it is lawful for an employer to ask the employee if they have been vaccinated or not.
It is lawful. We've gotten that
Right.
from our attorney, and our attorney also stated that we have the ability to ask employees for a copy of their shot record and to put it in their file.
But I just feel you send out an email that people respond to that says if you've been vaccinated or no. And just list right there that if they have to go by the protocol till July, but if they've been vaccinated, they don't have to wear a mask. I would show you my card in a second if I didn't have to wear a mask all day. I really would, so.
Do you need a motion on that?
So what about the public? Are you just gonna take their word for it and just require the employees to prove it, but not the public?
I was just, I guess what I threw that out there for was the simple reason was if you're an employee and you've been vaccinated and you still got to wear a mask all day, I can see where that would make me angry. I know it would. So, very, very good question you just asked there.
We haven't been requiring it in the offices. We've been requiring it if they're going into somebody else's office.
Basically, if you had it, you don't have to wear it. If you don't, please wear it. And they don't ask.
Yeah.
Just put a sign on the door.
How are you handling it with your employees?
For garbage men, we've been immune to it since the beginning. Honest with you.
I'm probably right there with you. Yep.
We're 3 weeks away from being all opened up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
What's 3 weeks gonna be?
exactly.
So,
So you say run it as is for 3 weeks and then it's done and then we're beyond that.
Yep.
That might be a lot less hassle, to be honest with you.
Well, that's pretty much what we were doing, was leaving it the way it was until the 1st of July, and then
I don't think most of the public is wearing masks anymore because of what the governor.
Right.
To be honest, I haven't worn a mask in months, unless it was a mask too.
We'll have the mask sign up, but we're not gonna chase away customers because by asking them and telling them they can't come in, we didn't even do that from the beginning, so.
They don't touch it.
I agree then.
It's just, it's,
Or July 1.
Okay,
thank you.
One other unfinished business. Michelle's, advertisement that we passed for the assistant there. Sandy has, I think, a very good idea regarding how to get extra money.
yeah, you mean to get somebody to apply for the job?
Yes.
To entice somebody, which, I talked to you about it. It was like a signing bonus. If we could offer that too, would that help? Because I read your letter about, the pay for assistant prosecutors and that nobody's, signing up for the amounts that's being generally offered now. So I wondered if a signing bonus would help and what the board thought about that.
Michelle, what do you think?
I am going to tell you that nobody, no licensed attorney, newly licensed or experienced, is going to come here to work for 6 months for $25,000 with the workload that we have with healthcare or a signing bonus. And if you're going to give them a signing bonus, then just pay for the freaking position to put it in here because we need it.
Thanks for bringing that
And
up.
put the $25,000 towards the salary, the total salary. I mean, that's just where I sit. It's insulting. And I don't know if you saw the comments on Facebook. The attorneys that are on there were laughing at it because they know. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but it's infuriating to me and it's insulting because it's just not going to happen.
Michelle, I've been reading over this, the Relief Plan Act, and it has something to do with rehiring. This is a position that needs to be refilled.
Correct.
Can't that come under the COVID Act?
It can, but you have to have the money to sustain those positions.
Well, I'd worry about that.
I think that's something that is put onto the wish list. We got a committee for that.
Mhm.
And those are questions that could be answered.
Michelle, thoughts?
I'll put it on the wish list.
There you, good.
And a signing bonus, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Then we need to do it for law enforcement too, because they're hurting.
Yeah. Law enforcement?
I see lots of people offering.
New business. Got any?
I'll share, Gypsy Moth World is fun. I just met with Melissa today. We came up with a mitigation plan and public relations plan going forward. So through August, you will see infographics and op-ed pieces in the local newspapers.
Good job. Thank you.
And just to let you know on that note that we've been getting word that you will probably have quite a few people here next Wednesday with regards to that.
They were also invited
Yeah.
to the meeting last night and we had 2 show up on Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering if your mitigation plan was going to cover a longer, when they first start to come out, when they hatch, a longer hatching, because I understand that we're having brand new caterpillars being hatched, you got little tiny ones floating around. So I was wondering if the mitigation plan was going to cover spread it out.
I don't know the logistics on
Okay.
when they can spray.
I just lay awake.
If you did a second spray, you would have to cut what got sprayed in half. And you know,
I'm just asking if their mitigation plan, you know.
We didn't have
something like
enough to
that.
get sprayed the first round, so.
so far, but,
Mhm.
all right. Closed session.
That take care of text.
Session.
Got a question.
How do we want to handle closed session? Do we want to put everybody into a waiting room and leave the meeting recording and turn it back on when we go into public comment and adjournment?
Yes, please.
That's a good.
Can I ask really quick, what's the labor relations of the,
Union negotiations?
is it union negotiations with the units that I am a co-employer for?
No,
Okay,
unless you guys end up talking about that,
I'm
but
not gonna.
And is there anybody on the list that we need to leave in for the closed session? Okay.
Jenny,
Jenny?
Jenny, yeah.
So we're having a short break.
So wait, there's a motion, there's a first. Is there going to be a second or are you not?
I'll second it.
Is there,
I don't know where.
Out there in the
I do-
Roll call.
slot machine.
but you pay for it.
Brown,
Yes. Oh,
I said Brown, sorry.
Brown.
Bristol,
Yes.
Asplin,
Yes.
Bankin,
Yes.
Pascal.
Yes,
Motion carried.
Taking a moment.
you betcha.
Are we done?
Well,
With the closed session.
yep.
Yeah.
Do we have any public comment out there?
Wait a second, can you give me a minute to back into regular?
Yes, I can. I'd like to apologize.
Thank you.
Good thing you don't have something hard to throw at me or sharp.
Oh,
If you do, I'm gonna talk to them people that run that metal detector because they should have caught it.
yeah.
Okay, I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay, any public comment? Meeting adjourned.
All right.
All right.
That's it.